Hello and welcome to SSQ's electronic application demonstration. In order to access our electronic application, you'll need to open up a web page and enter the URL ssq.ca/electronic-application. This will bring you right to the landing page where you have access to logging in order to complete the electronic application. Once you arrive on this page, you would click Login, and you will now enter your username and password. Your username, in order to access the electronic application, will always be your email address that is associated with SSQ. If you do not remember your password or you never received your password, you can easily and quickly reset your password by entering your email address, again, the email address that's associated with SSQ, your SSQ advisor code, choosing English or French, and then hitting reset. This will immediately send you an email with your password for you to log into the electronic application. Once you have that information, you can go ahead and log in. Once you've logged in, you will notice that there's a tab at the top that says My Saved Application. With SSQ's electronic application, you can save applications for up to 30 days under My Saved Applications. So if you've begun an application and you need to finish it at a later date, you can do so. You can then log back into the electronic application page, click on My Saved Applications, find the application that you've started, click Open and Continue. Otherwise, you can click on New Session, and you can begin a new electronic application. Once you hit New Session, you can then click on Life Insurance, and you are now into the electronic application page. The first box that will pop up will be asking whether or not you are doing a non-face-to-face electronic application or a face-to-face electronic application. At the start of this demonstration, I will show you the non-face-to-face application to show you as well what the client sees when completing the process this way. So when we choose non-face-to-face application, the first box that's going to pop up are some restrictions when it comes to doing our non-face-to-face application. Once you've read those restrictions and you agree to them, you press OK, and you can now begin the electronic application process. Now, when doing a non-face-to-face application, you will need your customer to follow along with you and agree to the sections that you send to them. In order for them to do that, you will need to provide for them, first of all, a URL that you will be able to share the session with them. The URL for the shared session you can find right here under the customer URL, which is nsg6.com. Now I'm going to show you on the other screen here as the clients, when they put in that web address, what it's going to look like. So once the client puts in that web address, whether it's on their laptop, their tablet, their cell phone, anywhere that they can access a web page, it will then ask for a code. Now the code that you're going to provide to the client, you will find under the SSQ insurance logo, call code. Now the call code will change anytime you log into the electronic application for security purposes. In this example, the call code will be 716. We will tell the client, please enter 716 into your shared session. They will go ahead, enter that number, and then now they will be ready to receive that information for them to agree to. Now we can continue with the electronic application. Answering questions that you will find in our traditional paper application, except they are in electronic form. Starting with the application will place an enforced policy. If you choose yes, you will then put in the details and attach a replacement form, or you can select no, the purpose of the insurance, as well as the language, and then you'll notice the broker disclosure. Now, once you've filled out all the information and you hit send to client to confirm, if there's anything that you may have missed, a box will pop up to let you know that something has been missed. When you hit OK, you will notice a flashing red star beside the information that you've missed that you would need to complete. In this example, we missed the language of correspondence that we need to check off, which I'll go ahead and do now. Once we've then fixed the missing information, we can go ahead and send to the client. This is what we will see on our end, is letting us know that we're waiting for the client's information. On the client screen, the information will pop up, and anything in red writing is what we, the advisor, has filled out for the client. Once they've reviewed the information and agreed to the information, they would go ahead and hit I agree. Once they've done that, we will then get the okay that we're good to go to the next screen. The next screen being the client's identification is where we'll enter the client's name as well as date of birth. Their gender, their email address, as well as their smoking status. Once we've filled in the client's information, we must do a client search. The reason we do a client search is that the client may already be a client of SSQ. Their information may already be in the system, at which point we can just import the data. So anytime you are doing an electronic application, you've entered the client's information, please remember to do a client search. More times than not, it will come up no matching clients, at which point you will just X out and continue on. If you were to add a second insured, you can do so by clicking Add Insured To. Otherwise, we'll continue on with John's application if John is a policy owner. If we were going to add any contingent owners, we can press the green arrow and add that information. Otherwise, we've now completed all the information requested. We're going to send to the client to confirm. We're waiting for that confirmation. And then you'll notice on John's screen over here, the information in red again is what we, the advisor, filled out and need John to agree to before we can continue. When John looks it over and he agrees, we click the button that he agrees. We will now get the green check mark on our screen that the client's confirmed, and we can move on to the next section. The next section being the coverage page, where John will be the insured, looking for individual coverage for a term with a level death benefit for a term 20 policy. We will then input the face amount. But don't worry about filling in the monthly premium or annual premium, as the software automatically calculates that for you after you've inputted all the additional coverages and benefits for the client. So if we were going to add any additional benefits, such as a critical illness rider for John, we would do so here. And once we've added everything, at the very bottom, we would click on the calculate button, and all the premiums for all the coverages will be calculated here automatically. Once we've done that, again, we send to the client to confirm. It will then pop up on the client screen, all the information. And once the client agrees, you just click on the button that he agrees, and we can now continue on to the next section because we have a green check mark that we can continue forward. Next screen is the client details, in which we would click on this green arrow here and now input all the pertinent information: where the client was born, the province the client was born, their address information, okay, which we can do by doing a postal code search. So we input the postal code, select the address, import it, enter the street number, and then telephone number. We then need to verify John's identity. By doing so, SSQ recommends some sort of video program in order to verify the client's identification, such as FaceTime, Skype, any sort of video program that you can verify the client's information and identity, you would use. In this case, let's say that we saw John's driver's license. Input the driver's license number, the jurisdiction, and the expiry date, and continue forward with if John has any existing individual insurance. Does he have any other applications that are pending or have been submitted to any other companies in the last 6 months? And has John had any application or reinstatement declined, rated, etc.? And if John is working, we'll input the information. Say that John is in sales and he's a seller. Input his net worth, his income, and then his employer's information, as well as the address. Once we've input the information, we would then send to the client to confirm. Again, All the information will pop up on the client's screen. Anything in red is all the information that we, the advisor, have completed that the client would need to verify and agree to. Once he does so, we would then get the green check mark that we're good to go. The next screen is the declaration page. Now, we ask that you refer to the illustration or the underwriting requirements in order to verify which will be necessary for your case. Now, it's not necessary to complete the questions in the declarations if two things are present. Number one, a paramed is required as a phone interview will be mandatory, or two, a medical exam is required as the questions needed to be completed with a physician. If not, then you do have the option to complete the medical and lifestyle questions instead of using the tele-interview. You can do this by selecting yes or no. If you select yes, you would then go ahead and complete the personal history questions as well as the medical history questions. If you decide that you would rather the telephone interview be completed, you would select no and continue on by inputting the best time to contact the client, whether it be morning all the way through the evening, and then the phone number that you would like the client to be contacted on, whether it be their cell phone or their mobile phone. You can also have a section here where you can input notes. As an example, if it is a specific time block that the client must be called, as an example, if the client states that they can only be contacted between 3:30 and 4 p.m., you can input that there, and the paramed company will do the best to meet those obligations. Once you've input that information, you would then hit next and move on. You are now in the beneficiaries section. So to enter the beneficiaries, you would click on the green arrow, input the information, send to the client to confirm, and then proceed to the next section, which will be the payment section. First question is a temporary insurance agreement question. If the client wishes to add temporary insurance, they would select yes and answer the questions. Otherwise, they would select no. As for the payment of premiums, we have monthly available as far as the frequency goes, or annual. In this case, we'll choose monthly. And then we have 4 options as far as first premium payment goes. Monthly, which would be a pre-authorized debit that gets withdrawn as soon as you submit the application. A monthly pre-authorized debit that gets withdrawn once the policy is settled. Credit card, which can be the first month's premium, or if the client is paying annually, they can pay 1/12 of the annual payment via the credit card, or payable on delivery of the policy. If we select payable on delivery of the policy as an example, a box will pop up to let you know that temporary insurance is not available with that option. You then select OK and have the option if the client wishes to enter their banking information now, or they can wait until we deliver the policy. As an example, you say no, and then send to the client to confirm. The client will then get the pop-up. All the information in red is what we've completed, and they would need to agree to it. If they select I agree, we will then get the green check mark that we can continue on to the signature page. In order to complete the signature page, we would select generate signature requirements. All the declarations and authorizations will pop up. We will enter where the policy is being signed, province, and then send to the client to confirm. The client will then get the authorizations and declarations, as well as 3 computer-generated signatures of their name. The client would then choose which of the 3 signatures they wish to use, and then click I agree. When the client clicks I agree, a box is going to pop up on their screen, letting them know that by them clicking OK, this has the same value as them signing their name on an application. Once they hit OK, we will then get the green check mark that we can continue on to the next page, which would be our advisor's report. We complete the advisor's report, and then we will be able to submit the application. If you are splitting the case with a fellow advisor, you can do so in this section here by clicking Add an Advisor and entering the advisor's details. Otherwise, you would verify that the banking information is correct and that you understand SSQ may require you to provide proof of identity for each insured. And then, before you can submit the application, you would need to make a PDF. When you click on Make PDF, a box will pop up for us, now the advisor, stating that we agree that by clicking OK, this is now the same value as us signing our signature on this application. We would then click OK, and then it's going to generate a PDF of the application that we just went through with the client. Now, before clicking on Submit Application to SSQ, you will need to open and save the PDF of the application that you just went through with the client, which is the top link here. Once you've done that, you can then hit Submit Application to SSQ Insurance, and it will then give you the confirmation that it has been successfully submitted to SSQ. Once that application has been submitted to SSQ, SSQ will then provide a copy to your MGA. Your client will then get an email explaining what to expect as far as the telephone interview goes, and you will also get a copy. If you do have any questions or would like help in completing this application, please reach out to your local sales representative or feel free to visit ssq.ca/electronic-application to review the demonstration, as well as the interactive tutorial, again, on how to complete the electronic application. We thank you very much for your support and have yourself a great day.